I'm a car broker. 50% of the population in the United States, they don't know what car broker is.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So I guess that's why we do need a broker then, right? Who knows all the
Well,
markets and
yeah.
You thought it was smart, huh? Bringing us here to the dealership upstairs. What made you think that was a good idea?
My manager, says that bring them in, bang them out, or I will not get my commission. It's all about the experience. We put up a show just, to go back and forth with the manager to make them feel they get a good deal, and then we hammer them.
We know all about your manager's shenanigans while you go behind that glass window.
Ever heard of Didonna Auto Group? We called them and got a quote over the phone.
They deliver the car to your own home.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's good.
No, it's great.
Everybody's going to be calling Didonna Auto Group.
Everybody.
Hey, fellas, I'm still tied up here. Can I at least get a Google review?
welcome to Behind the Showrooms. I have another good friend of mine. We've actually worked together roughly about a decade ago, and this man has climbed all the ladders in the car business that you can think of. Top from being a GM, working from sales and all that kind of good stuff. But he's definitely an expert in this automotive industry. I wanted to introduce you guys to my good friend, Lenardo, Didonna.
Hey,
Thanks
John.
for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So, like I said, I know I told you that you climbed a bunch of ladders in the business, your experience in, almost all fields that you can think of. Tell me about when you first got in, because I don't even know too much of that story either.
It's funny. I started in the car business, the BDC department.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
So I used to live in Staten Island, and I worked for a Jeep store in Staten Island. And I remember those days. It was back in 2007. I was working at a desk. They gave me a piece of paper and a pen, a list of all the clients, not even a computer. List of all the clients with a pen. Say, call each person and get them in. This is your first job. This is what you're going to be doing. I said, fine. So, at the beginning, like in 2007, the first year that I came to this country from Italy, it was actually, my English was broken, and, it was not an easy task for me to do. But I just got on the phone because I was eager. I wanted to learn. I wanted to get into the American work environment. And I started calling people left and right and get them in, say, please, do you want a car? Come. It was funny, but I got help by a bunch of coworkers as well. And that's how I started my career in the car business from the BDC department.
So how long did you do BDC for?
I did BDC for about, I will say, a year and a half, 2 years. Went to sales briefly. And then from there, from sales, they called me up at Mercedes-Benz in Westchester. At that time, I had to make a move. My wife is from Westchester County, so I eventually had to move to Westchester. So I had to get another job. It was trying to give me the world and trying to get me into finance, trying to get me into everything. Because, I was a hard worker. I always liked to work and be there and, sell cars. And even at one point, he said, don't go. I'll give you a car. I'll give you, gas money. I'll give you toll money. Just stay here. But the commute, it would have been horrible from Staten Island to Westchester, being probably 2 hours with traffic. It would have been impossible. So I started working as a BDC manager at Mercedes-Benz. And then I was able to become a general sales manager at Prestige Lexus, which, those were good years.
Right.
That's where we met.
So we almost started at the same time then.
Yeah.
I probably didn't mention this before too, but Leonardo currently has his own business now, but I'm sure you'll explain it a lot better than I do. So tell them what you do now.
I'm a car broker. What is a car broker? I will say that 50% of the population in the United States, they don't know what car broker is. You can describe it as a car concierge, okay, in a different way. But now I have my own business. After being a general manager for a store, for a Maserati and Alfa Romeo store for about 4.5 years, I was able to finally say, you know what, I'm done with the face-to-face retail business, storefront business. I want to get on my own. I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to do something on my own, because I have my way to do business. I have my way to give that customer service satisfaction to the client. I started in 2022. It was September 15th. I started the company, opened up an office in Armonk in Westchester County. And since then, it's been going well. I was lucky, I would say lucky, fortunate, because I had a lot of clientele that was already following me. I had a huge clientele. So that gave me the head start. Okay. And, some advertisement here and there. But, eventually I realized that the best advertisement was the word of mouth.
Right.
Started the first month, it's like, oh my God, I sold 5 cars. That's great. 6 cars, 7 cars. Now I'm averaging like 25, 30 cars a month, and I'm happy about it. Can I expand the business? I can. But, I try to, have my head on my shoulder and go down, and go slow.
Right.
So I'm always available. They all have my cell phone number. I'm always there. They text me right away. I give them a quote or something.
Right.
So what is a car broker business? It basically is a concierge service that if a client is looking to buy a vehicle, lease a vehicle, a brand new vehicle, instead of going to one dealership to another, even to shopping different brands or the same brands for pricing, they just come to me. I'm looking for 3-4 vehicles. Tell me which one is in my budget, and I will give it to them. I go straight to the bottom line. I don't play games.
Right.
That's what people are trying to avoid by going to brokers, because they're tired.
Right.
Super tired to go to dealership and say, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna give you the car for $5,000 over sticker. That's a great price, right? And they're waiting for the client to say yes, no problem, I'll take it. Treat the client right, and it goes a long way.
Right. So I've seen and spoke to some of the brokers or clients who have personal brokers, right? My biggest question is, how are some of these customers getting a better deal than the actual dealership?
It depends on the broker as well. So there's some brokers that they tend to make a lot of money on a client. They don't go to the bottom line. They try to work the same way as a salesperson works with a client at the dealership, trying to fill them out and see where they are. I have a way where I'm being upfront with them. They go on my website and they fill out a form. The form is not just a name, last name, phone number, and email. Like this, I get the lead, and I can call them up and say, hey, when you want to come to the office, I'm going to try to sell you a car. No. On the form, there's a variety of questions that I ask the client. Only the serious buyers are looking to fill out that form.
Right.
Once I receive it, I have all the ammunition to give them the good price. So to go back to your question, why the brokers have better deals than dealership, I personally work with the 130 dealership throughout the tri-state. Okay. So some of them are aggressive, some of them are not. And I know for a fact those are aggressive, they only focus on volume, not gross, for some reason, because probably the manufacturer, they give them stair steps to follow to achieve. But I have my set prices. So at the beginning of the month, all these dealership, they send me all the prices. So I know exactly which dealership I'm going to go with, right? This is my cost. And then, they give me a commission when, once I sell a car. But it's a dealership, they go very, very, very deep. And it depends also the month prior what business they had. Because there's a general manager go on top of them and say, you know what? You did a bad job last month. I want you to sell 200 cars this month. I don't care how you do it, make it happen. And they don't care about probably gross profit. So they give everything away.
I mean, in your opinion, because you've been doing it for over almost 3 years now, right? For someone to say, I want to run my own broker business, it's not going to be someone who's been in the business for 1 year with that much clientele, right? So obviously, I'm just curious to see if it's long-term better than your GM position or GSM position.
Those are two different businesses, right? So the car broker business is for somebody that I believe, has been in the business for so many years, like me. It was a easy way for me to get into the car business, into the broker business, because I had prior 15, 16 years of experience of car business.
Right.
So I know a lot of people. I know general managers everywhere, general sales managers, sales managers. So when I call a dealership and they hear my name, it sounds familiar. I say, I
Right.
know that guy. That guy's been there. I know that guy. Sometimes I run into coworkers,
Right.
and they remember me. So for me, it's very easy to do business with certain dealership because, big factor also, you have to have a good reputation. If you have a
Right.
bad reputation, even if you know them, they don't want to do business with you. So having a good reputation is a big factor. The fact that I know them, it's easier. I know ins and out of the car business. It's 1, 2, 3 easy. They can, quote unquote, bullshit me, right?
Right.
For somebody that wakes up and say, you know what, I'm working at McDonald's today. I just want to go work as a car broker because I know that guy is making a lot of money. It's gonna be hard for that person. Like, I'm in New York. I have to be licensed.
Okay.
I have to be licensed. I have to pay $100,000 bond. I have to have, and also have my dealer plate, which costs a lot of money to insure.
Right. Wow.
So it's not easy to have a business. The DMV comes to my office once every couple of years, take pictures of the office to make sure they're all legit. All the documents are secured. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like a car dealership, same thing.
Right.
For car broker, there's no restrictions.
Oh, okay.
For used cars, there's restrictions.
Okay.
You cannot sell, I believe, more than, if I'm not mistaken, 5 cars throughout the years, and then you have to, or 3 or 5 cars throughout the year, and then you have to get a used car license. But in New York, there's a restriction for brokers that I cannot get a used car license if I'm a broker,
Okay.
which does not make any sense. I could just open up another company in another address and get it anyway and run 2 businesses,
Right.
which I didn't do. I'm not looking to do. Just trying to stay, with my own business because it's working well, and that's my main focus right now.
Wow. I see. So how does that process really look? If a customer comes in, asks you about a certain vehicle, how does the test drives and things like that work?
It's a little bit different. Test drive doesn't happen in my place
Okay.
because I cannot have 252 models of a car available to be test driven. We focus on a couple cars that they might be interested in. If they don't know which cars they want, I let them go test drive a car at the car dealership. Go pick any place, go test drive cars, and then come back to me. Feel free to get numbers. I tell them. I don't tell them, don't get numbers, please don't. No. Feel free to get numbers. Do whatever you want. 99% of the time, they realize my numbers are way better than the numbers they get as from the salesperson at the dealership. And some people, they have the trust factor. They just trust me and they don't even ask for numbers. Just get my numbers and they go. Because they know that I treat them well. So
Are there ever times where the numbers that they got from the dealership is lower than your number?
no, there happens a couple of times where some dealership has some dealer cash or like vouchers that I'm not aware of. They have and they offer the client, but it's super rare that happens.
You were a GM at a Maserati Alfa Romeo store, right? How was that experience in that brand?
It's unique. I think the right word is unique because general manager is a person that supervises the 3 departments that the car dealership has: sales, parts, and service. Service, it's easy because it's a given business. Everyone goes and needs service. Sales is more like you have to train your salespeople to be respectful, to give that customer service factor to the client. And parts, you have to be strategic about, selling the parts to body shops and stuff like that. So at the beginning, I started actually as a general sales manager in Maserati and Alpha, and then I got promoted to general manager, and actually had a lot of fun. The way I run my business and I train my salespeople, I tell them no pressure. Do not pressure the client. The client knows exactly what they want, right? They come to a dealership. They know because they do research online. They know exactly what Alpha, Stelvio, Giulia, or 4C, the Maserati Ghibli, Levante, Gran Turismo, they're all about. They're just looking for numbers and see the car in person. Period. So if they want the car, they're going to buy it from you as long as you're respectful and you give them customer service factor. Also, I have a rule in my dealership. You do not leave the dealership unless you get an espresso. I'm Italian, super Italian. They have to get an espresso before they go.
Right.
Period. You know, the hospitality mentality, kind of.
What makes the Alfa Romeos special or unique?
Believe it or not, they, of course, Italian people, they want to drive Italian, so they come and they have to drive Alfa Romeo. That's a known fact. Once you test drive a car like an Alfa, it's different than the other brands. It's a luxurious segment compared to BMW, Mercedes. It does drive like a BMW. And it's well made. Was well made. I will say that it's a little bit technology wise a little bit antiquated. So it's I need some improvement, some updates. A lot of Indian people they buy Alfa Romeo for some reason.
Really? Right now, the current market, what's your most popular vehicles that you're leasing or buying or selling?
I've been selling a lot of Mazdas lately.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mazdas, wow.
Great car. Okay. Great price. Great lease price. I will say I've been selling a lot of CX-30, CX-5, CX-50, and CX-90. They came out with the CX-70, which is basically the same body as CX-90 without the third row. But everyone is looking for a CX-90. And now they came with a hybrid, which is selling like a piece of cake.
Really?
Yeah. So that's my number one volume vehicle. Second place, I will say it's a Volkswagen with a Tiguan, another great lease car. And number three, Hyundai.
Oh, wow.
Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, the new body. Everyone loves it. So
as far as the process works, how does it work exactly? So you greet the customer, they land on the car, you give them numbers, they're happy. What's next?
I send them a text message or an email with all the steps, what I need from them, which is usually license, registration if they're transferring plates, or I need registration for rebates purpose. They have to fill out a credit application. I need their insurance card. That's it. Once I get all this information, I can set up the delivery if the car is in stock the next day. Simple as that. They don't have to wait weeks for it. Like the next day, they get a car in their driveway.
So you bring it to them. It's in delivery service.
Correct. They have two options. They can get the car at the office, okay? Or I can bring it to their home or office. So once I get this information, I submit it to the dealership. Everything is encrypted. There's no email they're going out. They're not encrypted. They get the car the next day. Very simple. We set up the insurance for them. They don't have to call. But for the rest, we can handle it ourselves.
From beginning to end, everything is
beginning to end. The dealership does not contact them at all. Everything goes through me. The client has a problem, they come to me. They have a question, they come to me. And the down payment is to me as well. Everything is through my office.
Is there typically a charge to do business with you?
No, there's no charge. It's free.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of brokers that charge client to get the best deal. I don't charge anything.
Right.
I don't like to get paid for both ends. I like to get paid from one deal for the dealership only, and that's it. Yeah, there's a lot of bad brokers out there. I don't do business that way.
Right.
And I've gotten to some people that have used other brokers that came to me and says, your process is way different, much better. I don't want to call it this way, but I call it this way because I'm actually the Amazon of the car business. You go online, you fill out a form, you get the car the next day. I mean, it's very simple. Some people still, after getting a car, they don't believe how easy the process is.
To have a sustainable business, how many cars do you think on average that broker would have to generate in order to support a family?
I will say to be a legit broker, then pay that license and everything, because there's a lot of expenses behind as well. That's what people sometimes they don't see. I will say you have to sell between 15 cars. 15 cars, you'll be okay. 15,
right.
20 cars, you'll be way good.
And that'll be, you think, more than 6 figures?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you like the business compared to, being in the car business?
I can
at
tell
dealerships.
John, at the beginning it was scary because you enter into an entrepreneurial world that you don't know if it's gonna stick or not. I say I'm scared. I'm gonna pay rent. I'm committed to 2 years of rent. I'm committed to this. I have to spend money for furnitures and this and that. I was like, you're a nervous wreck. You don't know what to do. But then once you get it done and you get it going and you start seeing some improvements and people come and buy from you, those are satisfactions. It's not an easy thing to do, but I can tell you that I'm very happy right now to be in solo, to be on my own. And I've gotten asked multiple times to go and run a dealership, to be a general manager again. If you have thought about it, and said, I'm sorry, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I sometimes, last year this year I went to Florida for almost a month.
Yeah.
I was able to take my laptop with me and work out of Naples, Florida, and send my drivers to deliver cars, to do everything, remotely. If I work for a dealership, I'm not able to do so. I have to be there. I have to give the week's notice, and I'm gonna be on vacation. And guess what? The way I am, if I work for a car dealership, even if I'm on vacation, I work anyway, because that's who I am. And that's what triggered me to go to work on my own. I say, if I'm going to do this for somebody else, might as well do it for my own.
Do you miss the business?
I miss
The environment?
the environment, the negotiation process, that was very exciting, but also you have to have the right people behind the scene. I mean, in front of the clients, because I'm behind the scene. They, unfortunately, like I will say 70% of the salespeople, even though they're trained, they don't have the skills to do the needs analysis that it's a must to do to the client at time of introduction.
Right.
If you miss the needs analysis, you can't sell them a car. I'm sorry, but there's nothing you can do. You can pressure people to get in the car. You have to learn who they are first. You have to learn what they're looking for. You have to listen what they say, not just hear it. And then once you know all these facts, then those facts will formulate into a number that once you present that number, they have a tendency to say, yes, I'll go for it. But if you miss all these parts, you miss the deal.
So what's your most favorite plug-in hybrid vehicle or standard hybrid vehicle right now, as far as your clientele, most of your clientele right now?
CX-90 hybrid.
So that's just a plain hybrid? Or is it plug-in hybrid?
Plug-in hybrid.
Do you know what the gas mileage that you get on that? How many miles do you get per?
25, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone has a big family in New York, right? And everyone wants a third-row vehicle, right? So Mazda CX-90 offers 3 rows, either bench or captain chairs, and the lease price on those cars like in the mid 4s. So find me another 3 row,
third row seat.
Yeah, 3 row vehicles as a $450 a month. Can't find it.
Right.
Toyota, they are super expensive right now. Lexus as well. Like Mercedes, the GLS is super expensive. The BMW X7, same thing. But if you're in the same, you want to be in the same category, the Nissan Pathfinder, a little bit more money, affordable. A Honda Pilot, nice car, not as bad as payment. But those are the cars. The Atlas is a more expensive vehicle, but it's a nice car though.
Right. I didn't realize the Mazdas are like below 500 now. Didn't even cross my mind.
Great cars, Japanese, they don't break.
Because any car right now with a third row seat, you're looking at least
$600-700.
$600-700. Yeah. Oh wow. So I guess that's why we do need a broker then, right? Who knows all the markets.
Well, but there's a lot of people that also utilize my information that go somewhere else, being very disrespectful. They say, oh, you have to help me out. This is it. So I give all the information and they go somewhere else just because they have a guy, they have a guy that they work with all the time and they're trying to utilize me to just go somewhere else. That's being very disrespectful. I don't like that. It's gonna happen eventually. You can get upset about it, but whatever. You go on to the next. There's a lot of people that come to me. They don't know what's going on in the
Right.
world, in the market, right? So they said, Leonardo, let me know when's a good time to buy this car. And I put in my CRM, call this and that. And when I remember, I just type it in the search. Was looking for Mazda, or was looking for something, and I find it. And I call them up and sell them a car.
Right.
There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of times that where I push factory orders because people are looking for particular color combo, particular options in the vehicle,
Right.
and it's not easy to find one. Or if I do find one, I find the dealership this doesn't work with brokers. Number one, because they don't believe in them. They want all the gross they can get. So I tell them, you know what? Why don't you factory order the vehicle? And, they do that. They extend the lease. They factory order the vehicle. Car comes in, better price. Here you go. Done.
Do you work in just the tri-state area, or does it can it be?
I've gotten cars from Florida, from Hawaii, from PA, a few states like Maine, Massachusetts. One time I delivered a car to Massachusetts. I like going around.
Okay.
This woman called me up from Massachusetts, from Boston, and she was looking for Hyundai Palisade. It's a little bit different, Massachusetts, with registration. A lot of dealerships
Yeah.
do not work with the client from Massachusetts because in order
Really?
for a dealership to register in Massachusetts, it's a process and a half. I got them the car. I went to pick it up. And I drove early in the morning. I woke up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I drove all the way to Boston, gave the car, like it was like 3.5, 4 hours drive, I don't remember. Gave the car early in the morning. It was super cold that day, a little
Right.
snow. It was super, super cold. Gave the car. I took Uber. I went to the North End in Boston, went and walk around. I love walking. I went everywhere looking for Italian stuff. I went to the restaurant
Right.
and then took Uber to the airport, took a plane back to JFK. I love doing those
Oh
stuff.
wow.
Certain cars that, all of them we drive, but certain cars that we can drive, like sometimes Porsches, some people don't want miles on the car and they understand, so we flip bed them. I actually have 2 cars coming into Porsche coming in next month. Factory order, Panamera and the both Panamera. The 4 starts like a 120, 130. They go up to 150 for us.
And these clients are leasing customers or buying customers?
Both.
Curious.
Both.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow. Well, it's very good information, Leonardo. Wow. It's a totally different market and that I didn't know about, really. And it's actually pretty interesting.
It's fun.
If anybody in the area or tri-state area, it could be the Northeast, the South, how can people find you?
So I have a website, which is www.didonnaautogroup.com. How you spell Didonna? Didonna. It's very easy for Italians.
Right.
But didonnaautogroup.com, or you can follow my page on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. I like to make some funny videos sometimes.
Okay, that'll be interesting. I'll leave the links here on the screen too, so they can all check it out.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you, Lenardo, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it for all the useful information. Hopefully, we can have you again sometime down the road.
I will be honored, and thank you for inviting me. I appreciate
No problem. My pleasure. Thanks you.
it. Thank you.